Mark, why don't you just take it over, take it
Yeah,
on?
we can, if we can go on and on about Rebecca forever. Well, I met Rebecca, Kelly and I met Rebecca about 2 years ago at Fort Collins, ninja selling training and installation. Rebecca is a ninja selling instructor and also a coach and works with Cornerstone. And I just want to say she is like one of the most lovely people you could know. When you're in a room full of people, like you want to just hang out with Rebecca. She's just like the most lovely, authentic person. And it's such a pleasure to have you here today. And thank you so much for sharing this presentation. And yeah, it's a pleasure having you today. And we just finished up a book club together, the Miracle Morning Book Club, and we just had the best time. It was just a really, really great experience. So Rebecca, thanks so much for joining us today.
Gosh, you bet. And the feeling is mutual. I mean, every time I talk with Mark or Kelly or anyone on the team, it's just what an experience. You know, I work with real estate agents and loan officers all over the country, and there is something special about that Santa Barbara team. And so one of these days, every time Mark talks about walking on the beach, I think one of these days I'm going to be there. I'm going to do it.
Good.
Well, good. Well, if it's okay, I'd love to ask everyone, I didn't see a show of hands. How many have been through a ninja installation before? Nice. And how many haven't yet? So maybe what I should ask is, how many of you have heard of ninja selling? Is it something that you've heard of in your area? Okay, well, this is a great opportunity for us to share a little bit about ninja selling and today's presentation. Now, there's certainly a lot that we could share, and Mark and Kelly are going to be an amazing resource for you when we finish. Of any questions you might have, if you want to learn more, ninja selling's been around 30 years. There's almost 100,000 ninjas across the United States now. And really has taken off, especially in the last 2 years when Larry Kendall's book, Ninja Selling, came out. It's frequently sold out on Amazon. It's gotten all kinds of awards. But most importantly is that it really shares ways to grow your production but have work-life balance. And in fact, I think that's just the #1 thing I'd want to share with each of you is it's a little bit different than some sales techniques, let's say, because really the mission of ninja selling is to increase your income per hour so you can have a life. And we talk a lot about that. We talk about mindset and gratitudes and how if you focus on your vital few, those things that earn you the highest return on your time, that you can find that work-life balance. So we can certainly schedule another time and chat more about that. Today, what I wanted to share with you, and again, thanks to Cornerstone's team there in Santa Barbara for having me on today. I feel really special to spend some time with you guys this morning. The topic is, I want to thrive, not just survive. And it's really in relation to these last 8-10 weeks, everything we've been going through personally, what our clients are going through, what our families are going through, and what our business is going through in our industry. And so this is a message, just kind of a special one-off that we wanted to share with the real estate community. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand or type in the comments section, and Mark or Kelly can let me know if there's comments, because this presentation's for you. We want it to be of value for you. So let us know anything that you want more information on or have questions on. So let's jump in, surviving and thriving. So really there's 5 areas that we're going to cover during today's presentation as far as, gosh, what's going on with me? What's going on with my business? And how do I really start shifting from the survival mindset that's somewhat for some of us, I know it was for me, really fear-based. The unknowns, maybe some anxiety, and I was really kind of caught up in the survival mode. Maybe because I was homeschooling my children, but that's a whole other story. But how do I take that energy and really shift my mindset and shift my business to thriving? And so there's 5 things that we've noticed really are having an impact right now. And the first one you can see on my screen is certainty. The certainty is this: there is a market. Now it's coming back in different states at different times. I even saw today that there's an 18% from the MBA, the Mortgage Bankers Association, that there's an 18% increases in purchases across the United States. So we're really seeing this floodgate start to open and having that certainty. Significance, we're going to jump into that a little bit about, gosh, how do I really connect with my clients right now? And how do I go from creating value as far as what's going on in the real estate industry and maybe shift that a little bit now into this caring mode and really showing them that they are significant, they're important to me, and I want to be there for them. The third one is hope for the future. Really being focused on the vision for the future. What is my why? What is the why behind what you do, but also our clients, what is their why? A lot of people are getting a lot of clarity on their why and what's important in life right now. And if we're in tune on that, that's going to have a big impact on our business. Number 4 is esteem. The esteem, self-esteem, self-awareness is being part of a tribe. Right now, we've had a little bit of a disconnect for a few weeks, 10 weeks, who's counting? And feeling like we're part of something larger, and all of your clients, past, present, and future, are part of your tribe. So how do we reach out to them? How do we create that top of mind awareness with them so we know what's going on in their life? And I'll talk a little bit more in depth about that. And number 5 is, what can I do? What can I do as their real estate agent to support them right now in whatever they're going through personally, professionally, and their real estate needs? So these are the 5 areas that we're going to cover today. Number 1 is certainty. Knowing that there is a market, and this was a great quote that Larry Kendall put out. He said, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's learning to dance in the rain. And gosh, what a great time. I'm sure we've all heard this quote before, but it means a little different, something different right now. There is a storm, there is a lot of uncertainty, but you know what? Those that are really going to evolve right now and thrive right now, they're dancing in the midst of it. This is Andrea Toole, and for those of you that don't know, Ninja Selling was founded at the Group Real Estate in Fort Collins, Colorado, and Andrea here is a partner at the Group in Fort Collins, and just really a great example of thriving right now. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about her journey with you guys. She's part of the 100,000 Club, but only this year, this is something a little bit new for her. In fact, she became a member of this club between March 15th and April 30th. So this was a time of a lot of fear, a lot of unknowns, and a lot of people were sitting back, waiting and watching what was going to happen. But Andrea wasn't. She was doing something a little bit different, and I want to share with you how she took this time. During these 6 weeks, a lot of agents didn't have much production, many closings. Well, during those 6 weeks, she had $127,000 in gross commission income. So certainly she caught the eye of Larry Kendall and the Ninja community, because we'd love to take those that are having great success, especially during this time, and share it with each of you. She's a single associate. She does not have a team, so I think that's important to share. Average home price might be a little bit higher in Santa Barbara, but in Fort Collins, it's $440,000. And she's really involved with Ninja coaching. And so she has someone that understands Ninja really being in her ear. You guys have that same resource with your Cornerstone team. And this is what Andrea did. Moving into number 2 is significance. She took this time to kind of wrap her arms around her clients, get really close. She let them know she cares. And one of the things we talk about in Ninja is how to have conversations. We talk about Ford conversations, see if you can see my fingers, F-O-R-D. How to have a conversation where you focus on their family and friends, their occupation, recreation. What are you doing for fun? Did you have a good weekend? Are you doing anything this weekend? And last is dreams. What are your dreams for the next 5 years, for your child that graduated? And so just a little insight into that. And while we're having conversations, we're picking up on pain and pleasure. And gosh, I don't know if there's ever been a time that I've picked up on more pain and pleasure in people's lives than right now. And so that's what Andrea did. She picked up the phone, she had these conversations. She didn't talk about real estate, because what we know as ninjas, that if someone is having pain or pleasure in their life, there's about an 80% likelihood they're going to do something in real estate. So I don't need to be salesy, and I don't need to ask about real estate specific questions. What I can do is I can just ask them personal questions, ask how they're doing, how the family is, and that pain and pleasure really starts coming out. She picked up the phone more than ever. She did text videos. Text videos are important because 60% of the United States have a learning modality of being visual learners. So anytime I can have someone be visual and see me, even though I know I talk with my hands a lot, that's important for us to know in the real estate community, because people feel more connected when they can see our eyes, they can see our face, and feel more empathy and relation with us. So she did text videos, she wrote more personal notes than ever, and if they mentioned change, she would keep a list, that pain and pleasure component. So let's jump into number 3, hope, vision, and why. Hope for the future, a vision of what these next 5 years look for me, and really my why. My why is really tied into my bucket list, my life list. Why do I sell real estate? And really looking at myself and my clients' visions. So this is a graph, and I know that it's been all over the board, but this is one that came out, and I want to share it with each of you. These 3 major financial institutions came out and said, we really believe we're going to see a rapid V-type recovery. We saw the stock market go all over the place. And this is important to know. Do I think this could change? Absolutely. But I want to have clarity. I want to create value for my clients. And so I need to know what the majority of these large financial institutions are predicting. And this V-type recovery keeps coming up. So I share it with you, not because I have a crystal ball, but it's good for us to know what the majority are expecting. The second quarter was rough, absolutely. But they do anticipate this third quarter really rebounding. And in the real estate community, it's different in every state. I know in Colorado that the floodgates opened about 2 weeks ago, and we've seen a large increase. Do I think that's going to open for every state? I think for the majority. Again, I sure would give anything for that crystal ball of that now. Here's another survey that I think is important to share when we're trying to look at the positivity of what's going on. PricewaterhouseCoopers is a company that does a lot of surveys right now, and this one really stood out to us at Ninja. They took 50 leaders from a cross-section of industries, and this was the question they asked. They said, if COVID-19 were to end today, how long would you estimate it would take for your company to get back to business as usual? Now, it's all over the board. There's companies from restaurants to assembly line to mechanical to the auto industry. We've got it all. But what I really want to focus on is 66% said, we think we can be back up and running in less than a month. I don't hear the media reporting on that, and so I really like to point that out. And in fact, 90% of these 50 top industry leaders that were interviewed said, I think within 1 to 3 months, we'll get back to production. We'll get back to where we were. And so I love that positivity. I don't know if it'll happen, but this is what I do know is their mindset's in the right spot. They're putting practices in place to do the best that they can to ensure that happens. So I really think that's some great news there. Next, kind of what I want to talk about is I talk with a lot of real estate agents across the country, and one of the things that comes up a lot is when, whether it was early March, mid-March, or even late March in California, the market started slowing down. Some of you might have seen listings getting pulled. People kind of went into a cocoon a little bit. They kind of pulled out back to see what was going to happen. Buyers put the brakes on, listings were pulled. Sellers said, I got to see what's going to happen first before we move. And it really created a lot of fear in the real estate community saying, this income that I really rely on is gone. I really needed this for my family, and this is, you know, my 2020 goals. And what I would like to share with each of you is this. And I think it's such a beautiful message from Larry Kendall. And he said, this is not an elimination of income. And having that right mindset is so important. This is just a postponement of income. So I would encourage each of you that if you had been thinking, gosh, that income's gone, what if we shift our mindset to saying it's just a postponement? Because if you look at my slide, this is what we do know. There is 3 basics in life. There is food, there is shelter, and there's clothing. And how lucky for each of us on this call, loan officers and realtors, that we're one of the 3 basic needs in life. We're housing. We also know that there's a lot of pent-up demand right now. And in fact, I've been calling a lot of past clients of my own, and when I'm picking up on pain and pleasure, one of the things I'm hearing a lot is people have gotten really clear on if this is their forever home. They've done a lot of house projects. Gosh, we said we would sell in. For a lot of them, wins here. They've done those jobs around the house, those little things that they never have the time for. I hope you're seeing some of that in your community as well. So this is Lawrence Yoon, the chief economist for NAR, and he's good friends with Chris up in Fort Collins at the group. So Chris sent him an email, was just saying, gosh, what's going on? What do you really think about what's going on? And I want to share his email with you because I think it's positive. He said, hi, Chris. I will be a bit more conservative and say we will not get all of missed economic activity, maybe 95% by the year end. The massive stimulus package will help us get there. One certainty is home prices staying solid. I love that line. I love that positivity. Maybe we'll see a couple ups and downs, but I'm feeling really good about where things are going. And in fact, NAR put out this chart. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not, so we put it in here again because I think it's one a lot of clients, and maybe you're hearing this or even thinking this, is, oh no, could this be a repeat of 2008, 2010? And NAR and the economists that we're listening to on the mortgage and real estate side, even national sides, are saying no. And in my opinion, I think this really sums up why it's different. In 08 and 10, we were in a buyer's market. There was more than 7 months inventory. As most of you know, a neutral market is 6 to 7 months inventory. And today, in most parts, in fact, I think I read in an article the other day, 98% of the United States is in a seller's market, meaning that there's not a lot of inventory, especially right now with all those listings that were pulled. And so as we're seeing these buyers kind of poke their heads out again, looking at buying again, the sellers kind of saying, gosh, maybe we should list again. I believe this is why it's a different market. So number 4, let's jump into number 4, is esteem. And it's being part of a tribe. You know, pulling those that are your colleagues, your friends, your clients, your family a little bit closer during this time. I also think it's a great opportunity for us as real estate agents to pull our clients. Let them know they're part of your tribe, a tribe of confidence, positivity, clarity, that we're going to share with them the positive things that we're seeing. And this graphic is an awesome example. Be a fountain of positivity, of value, of information, and not a drain. Don't be the one that spreads some of the fears, I would say. Now, there are some, and I don't want to say they're not real, because they are, absolutely. But I do think it's a mindset choice on what we do share, because a lot of people have unknowns around their housing situation right now. I don't know, those of you that have read Atomic Habits or not, I know Mark and I have had some conversations. I love this book. It's fantastic. But this is one of the quotes out of the book. Choose your tribe wisely. And he says, nothing sustains motivation better than belonging to the right tribe. And if they're part of your tribe, my hope is that they have clarity. You're creating value. You're letting them know realistically what's going on in the real estate market and what do we expect. And last is freedom. Freedom, what can we do? Now, we need to get clarity. Maybe most of you probably know what you can and can't do in California or in the communities that you serve, but most of your clients don't know. They don't know if people can come in their house right now. They don't know if they want people. Gosh, what if we list now? I don't want trails of people going through my house. There's a lot of unknowns. So it's a great time for you to get clear and share that with your clients. What a great way for us to educate them. I put this link in here on Inman because I think they do a really good job of updating it and talking about different states. I don't know if any of you work in more than one state, but certainly a great thing to keep tabs on. This is Patty Phillips. She's also a partner up at the group. And it was early April and she was in the office and Larry stopped by to grab something out of his office. And he saw Patty and said, "Patty, how are you doing?" And her response is one that's really stuck with me personally during this time. And she said, "I'm evolving." And that really stuck with me because I hear a lot of people saying, "I want to go back to normal," or is it the new normal, or whatever words they use, but evolving. And that's what really taught me a lesson of right now, it's time for me to evolve. Well, what does evolve mean? It means the ability of a species to change or adapt to its environment in order to survive. It might be time for all of us to evolve a little bit. I don't know which one of you have read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, but it's such a great book and it really relates to this time right now. He talks about the 3 circles of control. And this was good for me because I might be a little bit of a control freak. And his book was great for me because in these 3 circles, and I'm going to share kind of the 2-minute version with you. If you'd like to know more, I really highly recommend this book. There's a circle of concern. And this is where drifters spend a lot of their time. In fact, at Ninja, we call them victims. The circle of concern are things that I worry about, but I have no control over. I can't control the housing market. I can't control the economy. I can't control the stock market. I can't control COVID. There's so much I can't control. And so if I spend my time in that circle of concern on things I can't control, I'm going to be caught up in a lot of fear and a lot of drifting. And so it's really kind of a mindset shift here of where you put your attention and your focus on things that maybe you can control. And those areas we call the circle of influence or the circle of control. And this is where we see players. Those that are having great success, Andrea Toole, Patty Phillips, Larry Kendall, spending most of their time. Now, these are what we like to call ninjas. So the circle of control are things that I can control. I can control my mindset. I can control those daily and weekly habits that I do to ensure my clients feel loved on and I have a great relationship with them. I'm picking up on change. I have control over myself, my mindset, my skill set, and the actions that I implement every day. I also have a circle of influence. I have influence on my family. I have influence on my clients by making sure they have clarity on the market, what's going on. And so I choose as a ninja to really spend the majority of my time in that circle of control and circle of influence. So I'll do kind of a quick recap here. It might leave you with some questions because this is usually about I'm going to go over the Ninja 9. And the Ninja 9 is kind of the magic bullet, if you will, to ninja selling. It's those daily and weekly habits that we have seen ensure success. Again, Kelly and Mark are here to answer more questions that you guys might have on this. It's about a 3-hour section and I'm going to go over it in about 2 minutes. So please know that if any of it doesn't make a lot of sense, that this is just going to be kind of a quick recap. So there's 5 daily habits that we believe in doing at Ninja. Number 1 is gratitudes and affirmations. Waking up with a heart of gratitude, maybe doing gratitudes or meditation, getting your mindset right first thing in the morning. We also believe in affirmations, putting out into the universe those things that you want to bring into your life first thing in the day. Number 2, time block. Either you control your day or someone else is going to. And so for habit number 2 for me, I like to time block. I like to manage the time of my day and stay on my agenda. I know if I open email first thing, I used to open it, grab my phone when I was in bed, and I would have to be reactive all day long, and my to-do list would not get done till about 3 o'clock. So that's something we talk a lot about. Number 3, we talk about writing 2 personal notes every day. The impact that each of you can have on someone else's life or day by just writing a personal note. Number 4, we talk about your hot list, and number 5, your warm list. These are lists that I keep. My hot list are clients that are going to be closing probably in the next 60 to 90 days. I keep them top of mind, whether they found a property or not. These ones are on my hot list, and I don't want to forget about any of them. My warm list are those that are more than 60 or 90 days out. In fact, those conversations I'm having right now where pain or pleasure is coming up, I get them on my warm list. Now the 4 weekly habits. Customer service calls. We encourage you at Ninja to do an update call to every client that you're working with that's under contract every week. And we have a great process and formula we use for that. It's called the 5-step calling process, and we can talk more about that at a later time. Number 7, we have found huge success in real estate reviews. And I don't know if any of you are doing these right now, but they're fantastic. We've had ninjas all over the country have some great success. In fact, we've seen a 33% return. Those that are doing real estate reviews are saying 33% of the time, so a third, end up doing something in real estate. So definitely one of our vital few here at Ninja. Number 8 is 50 live interviews. All that means is talking and connecting with 50 people every week. And number 9, gosh, if you're talking to 50 people and you're writing 2 cards a day or 10 a week, I would probably encourage you to take a little time and update that database weekly. So that's a quick recap on the Ninja 9, and what we know and what we've seen, because we love to track things, is within 45 to 60 days of planting these seeds, you'll start seeing some changes. You'll start seeing some production growth. You'll start seeing clients talking with you about things they've thought about in real estate. So I hope you guys will consider trying some of those things on from the Ninja 9. This is probably a great slide for those of you in Santa Barbara that are surfers, but it's a great analogy as far as where the market's at right now, is similar to surfing. And this quote says, "Success often comes to those who get in front of the inevitable." And what's the inevitable? It's that the market's going to come back. I don't know if it's tomorrow, a month from now, or yesterday, but I know it's going to. And as a ninja, as a great producer, I want to be ahead of that. So it's similar to surfing, you know, getting your body prepared on your board, right positioning, every little thing that you need to do, that mental checklist to be ready to serve, is really similar to our businesses right now. I did want to share with any of you that are interested in reading Ninja Selling that it's on audiobook as well. Maybe one of the silver linings of COVID is Larry had time finally after 3 years to record the audiobook, and we get asked about that a lot, so I thought I'd mention that today. And then last, just to kind of wrap up our time together, I want to share this quote by Charles Darwin, and I think it's really applicable right now. He said, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change." So I leave you with that thought. I'll let Kelly and Mark kind of take it from here, but thank you for just giving me 30 minutes of your time today. I'm so grateful for that.
We actually have a quick question. What do you mean, Rebecca, by live real estate review?
Fantastic question. What we talk about in Ninja, and I can send over more information to get it to you as far as some of the ways that we do that, is real estate reviews. It's a time once a year that we offer to, or ninjas offer to their clients, to sit down and review their real estate holdings, whether it's 1 property or 10. Are they positioned in a great place with their mortgage? Are they what's the trends of real estate? You know, I know the Federal Housing Report just came out with first quarter earnings. You know, what are you seeing in California as far as appreciation? What are they seeing in their neighborhood? And being that source of value for your clients, there's some great software that's out there. There's some amazing reports. And once a year, just giving that value to your clients and having that face-to-face time in doing a review of their real estate.
So,
Perfect.
furthering on that question, Rebecca, how do you suggest that you offer that to your clients? Actually call them up and say, hey, would you like to sit down with me and do this? Or put it in a newsletter and offer it to a bigger group? Like, if you're interested in this, give me a call. What's your suggestion on that?
Gosh, is that Cheryl? Is that
Yes.
who I see?
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. Gosh, all of those are really great ideas. What I've noticed is we say a minimum of 2 per week. Most ninjas will take their database and divide it by the number of weeks they work a year. The first year is a little bit different when you start into these because your clients don't expect them. And so as you start doing them, I always mention it at closing, saying, hey, one of the things I want you to know, I'm going to be reaching out to you once a year. We'll get back together. We're going to do a review of all of your real estate. I'm going to let you know what's going on within California, in Santa Barbara, and just give you a good idea of where you're positioned. Something, a piece of value I offer to my clients every year. So that's kind of how it looks down the road. To get it started, I have seen newsletters are sent out. I've seen it on Facebook, Who Wants This? Where I mean, this is a personal where I see the highest return with some of my coaching clients that are real estate agents, is they'll pick up the phone and say, hey, Kelly, this is Cheryl over at Blank Real Estate. How are things going? Kind of have that forward conversation. As a service to my clients and just trying to create some value for you. I'm sure you've had a lot of questions about where the real estate industry is right now. And I went ahead and prepared a real estate review for you. I'd love to have you come in and have a conversation about my findings, answer any questions you might have. I would probably just position it like that. I always love to say, have a conversation, number one. And I also always love to say, I've prepared a report for you. Because then they know it's done and it piques their interest as some of the neuroscience behind it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and would you say that the report might not actually be done, but it can get done by the time they come in, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's funny.
Good at them though. You know, Kelly or Mark, there's a section in the Ninja Selling book that gives a really great overview of what a real estate review could include. I wish I could pull up a couple slides, but I think we'd be going over time. And then Focus First, it's a software and a book that actually shows how to put your real estate reviews together. So, gosh, I feel like by the time you do your first 5 or 10, you're a pro. You've got them down. But your clients, I have found clients love them.
And, you know, I was going to just add to that, you know, we try to do an annual mortgage review, and Kelly and I always struggle with this because it's like, you know, you always get a lot when you pick up the phone, reach out to a client and set aside some time. So maybe what we could do on one of these Thriving Thursdays, Kelly, is we could come back to that and maybe do that like the real estate interview, and because I think it could benefit everyone, and you know, certainly, yeah, we could.
I mean, financial planners, CPAs, everybody should be checking in with their clients. It's a universal. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Thanks,
Cheryl,
for mentioning that.
Yeah, that's really great. So we went a little bit over. Thank you, Rebecca, so much on the presentation. You. I'm reminded of how powerful Ninja was for me. I attended Ninja twice. Mark went, we had team members go, and it was a really powerful event. And so this is just a little baby taste of how amazing it is. So thank you. And not just real estate agents go through it. I mean, mortgage people go through it as well, but a lot of different fields have attended just to get so many of those skills, as well as focusing on gratitude and affirmations, meditation, all that. So I love the blend of the two worlds. So thank you, everyone. Does anyone, Mark, did you have something to say?
Oh, no, that was me. I just wanted to interject. Thank you, Kelly and Mark, for setting these up, because it's so helpful for me as far as having this positive feedback and these things going on, but also being an appraiser. I'm not directly in sales, but having my own business, so to speak. Everyone's in sales as far as wanting to project and provide information to their clients. So besides every week, and thank you, Rebecca, so much, because this is so informative, but having this every week is this wonderful positive affirmation that's helpful, I think, for everyone in any profession. So I really appreciate it. And Kelly, you and Mark, as far as setting it up, is just a great help, I think, to everyone. By the way, a quick note of that V curve that you were showing as far as all of the major lenders. The other thing that's astounding to me is I just look at the stock market, and it's at 26,000. You see all of this negativity, and then you look at these real figures and the stuff, and you just go, that's amazing. It's astounding for what everything's going on. So anyway, thanks again.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. Next week, we are continuing our Thriving Thursdays. If anybody has a suggestion of a topic, a suggestion of a presenter, please let us know. We are doing this for you all and for ourselves, and really focusing on education and inspiration. That's what this is all coming about. 30 minutes. Yes, we went a little over today. Next week, we're going to circle back around and give you an update on the mortgage industry and what's going on, kind of what we're seeing, maybe give you some stats in our world. Do it a little different than, the Q&A. We'll just keep it fresh. And then if you have anything that you want to hear from us specifically, please reach out to us. And then the following week, we actually have Danelle Stewart, who is a partner of Mission Wealth, and she is the VP of Business Development. So I think it'll be really great to get a update from her on what she's seeing in her world. So thank you, everyone, for coming again. And I look forward to seeing you all. And thank you again, Rebecca.
Thanks,
really,
Rebecca.
really appreciate
Thank
and
you,
love your
Rebecca.
presentation.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.